Good morning, students. Today class we are going to discussing about the Chebyshev inequality. In last session already we are saying that what is the definition of a Chebyshev inequality and how to derive the derivation part. You have to see the some portion of derivation in last session. Today's session you have to see that is a complete derivation part of the Chebyshev inequality. Here, what is the Chebyshev inequality? The Chebyshev inequality we are mainly using for the finding the deviation in upper bounds. Here I am writing once again the density function curve. This is a bell shape. This is a bell shaped curve. On x-axis you can take in the random variable. On y-axis you can take in the density function. This is fx of x. Here on horizontal direction you can able to representing the ranges of values. So minus infinite, here plus infinite. At mean value, the density function is higher than the maximum in order to see in a Gaussian function. That's why here I am giving the mean representation m. For in this, the deviation in the upper bounds, we can able to calculating by using the Chebyshev inequality. Suppose you can consider in any distribution function, it is having finite mean and finite variance. But here we can able to using this Chebyshev inequality, we can able to finding this one. The deviation of upper bounds in a curve we can able to finding by using the Chebyshev inequality. We can write in the statement of the Chebyshev inequality. We can consider x is a random variable. M is a mean value and sigma x is a sigma x square is a variance. We can consider any positive integer is k. From these assumptions, we can able to writing the Chebyshev inequality formula is probability of modulus x minus m is greater than or equal to k into sigma x. The entire value is less than or equal to 1 by k square. The opposite statement for this one is the probability of modulus x minus m less than k into sigma x. Here already we are using the two comparisons. One is equal and one more is greater than. The remaining is less than. The less than quantity we are using here. The less than is a quite opposite event representation for this first event. This value is 1 minus 1 by k square. We can obtain in this derivation part, we can able to consider the fundamental definition of variance. Here you can able to take in for a continuous random variable, the variance formula. Already we know that the second central moment of a random variable we are calling the variance. Based on that one, we can write in the variance sigma x square is equal to expectation of x minus m whole square. The second central moment representation. In case of continuous random variable, here you can writing the formula, can representing since for continuous random variable. For continuous random variable, we are able to writing the variance formula is sigma x square is equal to minus infinite to plus infinite x minus m whole square into fx of x into dx. This is a basic formula. This formula we are splitting to three parts. Why you can split in these three parts? We can able to finding the derivation part of Chebyshev inequality. We can splitting this integration into three parts. The first part limits are is a minus infinite to m minus k into sigma x. The function is as it is. We are not changing the function. We are splitting the integration within the limits. The limits are is a minus infinite to plus infinite. These limits can be split into three parts. The first part is minus infinite to m is a mean value, minus k is a constant, and sigma x is a standard deviation. Here taken the interval is m minus k into sigma x. The initial value is minus infinite. The final value is m minus k into sigma x. The function is as it is. Coming to the second term. The second term is starting from the ending of first one. The ending of first one is m minus k into sigma x. The same limit you can writing in a second term starting one. And then you can representing the higher limit is a plus quantity is m plus k into sigma x. M plus k into sigma x. After that you can rewrite in the same function. What are the function you can representing in integration? The same thing you can writing in second term. Coming to the third term. In second term, the upper limit you can mentioning the lower limit for third term. And then you can close in the complete interval as a plus infinite. Here also you can representing the same function whatever you can writing in last sessions. Now coming to the simplification of these three terms. In this, the middle term is having the constant intervals. The constant means it is having the value of is m minus k into sigma x and m plus k into sigma x. When I have to consider the constant limits for any integration value, the value must be equal to 0 or more than 0. It is having another basic property. Based on that condition, here the second term is greater than or equal to 0. Here I am writing the second indication, but don't write like this. You can mention that what the function is there. You can write in the same function. You can representing the quantities greater than or equal to 0. That's why you can eliminating this term. The equal can be changing to what are the quantity you can having for this relation. That relation you can representing here. Here I am consider the assumption is the second term. What are the second term in these three parts? The second term quantity is equal to 0 or more than 0. Based on that condition, I am neglecting the middle term. And then I have to using what are the properties high in the second term. The second term property I am applying to variance equation. The reason is the quantity of the middle term is equal to 0 and more than 0. That's why I am representing the variance value is greater than or equal to what are the remaining terms we are having. This one I am writing here. The same equations, the first and third. After that you can see the limits of these two equations, the two terms. For this first term, the limits are m value is minimum is minus infinite, maximum is m minus k into sigma x. But here we are not consider minus infinite. Why? Because it is having the infinite value. That's why I can take in that the finite quantity. The finite quantity value I am taking the equation in this. The value of x is equal or less than is a m minus k into sigma x. M minus k into sigma x. For this, using these limits, we can moving this mean value to left hand side. That's why I am moving this m value to left hand. We can writing x minus m less than or equal to minus k into sigma x. Then we can moving the negative sign. When I to moving the negative sign to left hand side, automatically the comparison will be changing. If it is already less than or equal, you can change to greater than or equal. That's based on that property. Here I am changing the minus x minus m value is greater than or equal to k into sigma x. Coming to the third term in this equation, this is the second term for this lower limit value. The lower limit quantity is m plus k into sigma x. M plus k into sigma x. For this quantity, we can representing in terms of random variable. Here the highest limit is infinite. We are not consider this infinite value. Why? Because it is having the infinite quantities. That's why can't able to measuring that value. Only can consider the lower limit of this term. The lower limit of this term you can representing the x quantity is equal or more than this quantity. Equal or more than this quantity is m plus k into sigma x. M plus k into sigma x. Here we can moving this m term to left hand side. That's why we can writing x minus m greater than or equal to k into sigma x. Now we can observe this two limits values. Here I am only consider the limit values to x, random variable x, I have to equating from this relations, I have to obtaining the x minus m quantity. Why? Because I have the term is x minus m in the second central moment equation. I can replace in that quantity, I can able to changing what are the limits is available in these two terms. Those two limits are expressing in terms of x minus m. For that, we are obtaining these two quantities. Now you can observe these two quantities, both are having the same comparison operator, but the quantities of x minus m, here it is a positive, here it is a negative quantity. That's why here I am squaring on both sides. What is the basic term we are having here? We can squaring on both sides. We can obtaining x minus m whole square greater than or equal to k square into sigma x square. What is this meaning? This quantity is equal to k square into sigma x square. Based on that one, I have to replace this quantity in these two terms. Where x minus m is there, you can just keep the quantity of k square into sigma x square. That thing I am writing here. The k square into sigma x square, the same quantity, and here the k square into sigma x square, and what are the quantity can representing the last session. We can observe this left side and right side, what are the quantities is common. In this both directions, we are having the common terms is here sigma x square, here sigma x square. You can take the common term and you can cancel it on both sides. This term is cancelled. Here is the sigma x square, here sigma x square. The remaining terms are here k square, here k square. K is a constant. That's why you can take in the k square as a common from these two terms, and you can move this to left hand side. Already it is a multiplying, one out of moving to left side, it is a division. That's why I'm writing 1 by k square greater than or equal to the limitation quantities. The minus infinite and plus infinite we are not consider. That's why what are the limits we are having from this equations you can write in here. Those are capital X less than or equal to m minus k into sigma x. In this one, the m plus k into sigma x less than or equal to capital X. Here also you can representing those quantities in terms of x minus m. Based on that one, here you can changing so k into sigma x. K into sigma x. These are the quantities we are having in this relation. From these two terms, what is the common term? This here x minus m, here x minus m. The sign is changing. That's why I am writing the modulus. The modulus of x minus m, the greater than or equal to k into sigma x is our required equation. And what about the second equation? The second equation we are obtaining based on the probability theory. In probability theory, the first axiom, it's not a first, the second axiom is the normal event execution plus the opposite event execution is equal to 1. Based on that property, you can able to find the second equation. Here I am writing the probability of an event. Here I am taking the event is E plus, and its complement event is a probability of E bar is equal to 1. Here what is the event I am considering here? This is the event. For this, the probability of modulus x minus m greater than or equal to k into sigma x. Plus its opposite event. What is its opposite event? Probability of capital X minus m modulus. Already we are using two comparison operators. So one is a greater than or equal, and second one is a, we can take in the less than quantity. Okay, here we can write in the normal event plus its quite opposite event. The quite opposite event is P of the same term we are writing here is x minus m modulus. Already we are using the two operations is relating to comparison. Those are greater than and equal. The remaining is less than k into sigma x, k into sigma x is equal to 1. Now we need to obtain this quantity. The remaining part we can moving to right hand side. This quantity already we are obtaining, the value is 1 by k square. 1 by k square. From this relation we can able to finding the value of the opposite term is probability of modulus x minus m value is less than k into sigma x is equal to 1 minus 1 by k square. 1 minus 1 by k square. This is the property you can able to obtain. But already we are having that is a greater than condition. What is the condition we are having is a greater than or equal to. Based on the value, we can obtaining this quantity. This is the derivation part for Chebyshov inequality. Chebyshov inequality. What we can do here? Just you can see that statement. Then you can consider the second central moment. By using this one, we can splitting this integral values into 3 parts. In these 3 parts, the middle part we are eliminating based on the conditions of integration. When after taking the constant interval, the value is must be equal to 0 or more than 0. Based on the property, we can changing the sign of variance. The middle term is we are neglecting, the remaining quantities are available. In these quantities, we are only consider the limits of finite values. The limits of finite values, you are not consider the infinite quantities. Why? Because when I have to consider the infinite quantities, the values goes to infinite. That's why I can changing these finite limits to our required values. Our required function is x minus m whole square. By changing these limits in these terms, then you can replace in the quantity of this in this entire equation. Finally, you can obtaining the our desired value. This is a complete derivation part is relating to Chebyshov inequality. Okay, coming to the next topic. The next topic is continuous random variable transformation techniques. Continuous random variable transformation techniques. Here, what is a transformation and what is the need of a transformation? Here, we can able to find in the random variables in a one format. When not using the same concept to another application, we must convert the random variable in one format to another format. For this conversion, we can able to using the transformation techniques. Already we are having some idea about system. What is the system? How to define the system? The system can give the output based on the input. Based on the input. Generally, we are representing the system in a block diagram. Here, the block diagram is representing with transformation. We can apply the input. Here I am taking the input is x, output is a y. Here I am applying the x input for this system. X is the input for this system. When I am applying this input, it can be changing to y. It can be changing to y. You can see that is the number of systems. Any system can take in the input. From this input, it can able to give the output. Based on that, the input can be changing to output. This change can be done by the system. The system we are representing with the transformation. It can be changing the value, that's why can calling it is a transformation. Now random variables, we are mainly having two types of the transformation techniques for continuous random variable. For a continuous random variable, we are mainly having the two methods. The first one is a monotonic transformation techniques and second one is a non-monotonic transformation techniques. The first method is monotonic transformation technique. So monotonic, and second one is non-monotonic. Here we are mainly having two transformation techniques. The first one is monotonic transformation technique and second one is a non-monotonic transformation technique. The first one is monotonic transformation. Under monotonic transformation, we are having the two types of techniques. One is a decreasing and second one is a increasing. Here, first of all, what is a monotonic transformation? Already the name is indicating it is a mono. It is a mono. Mono means a single. The single random variable conversion we can able to choose in this method. In this method, we can changing one random variable to another random variable. One random variable to another random variable. That one is called as a monotonic transformation technique. You can simply remember the definition of monotonic transformation. It can able to converting one random variable to another random variable. We can call it is a monotonic transformation technique. The monotonic transformation technique furtherly classifying to two types. The first one is monotonically increasing and second one is a monotonically decreasing. Here you can see that the classification of monotonic transformation. This is the classification. The first one is a monotonic increasing technique. In this technique, we are representing in terms of variables. In terms of variables, here T is representing the transformation. T is representing the transformation and x1 and x2. These two are a variables. These two are a variables. Here I am consider the assumption is x1 and x2 is having the relation of less than. Is having the relation is less than. Here x1 and x2 both are a serial numbers. In this serial sequence numbers, the x1 quantity is less to x2. That relation I am representing with this comparison operator. For these values I am representing in terms of transformation. That one is the t of x1 less than t of x2. T of x1 less than t of x2. This relation we are calling the monotonically increasing. Monotonically increasing. Monotonically increasing means we can take in the sequence of elements, and this sequence of elements, the first element is the lesser quantity you can comparing to second element. We can representing in terms of transformation. The same comparison you can take in that the different is we can able to keep the transformation value. Coming to the second one, the second one is monotonically decreasing. Monotonically decreasing. For this relation, we can consider the same sequence numbers. Those are x1 and x2. x1 and x2 both are having the lesser comparison. What are the sequence you can consider? The same can be represented here, but the change is there in their transformations. We can identify the first and second. First and second, the relation is same. x1 is less x2. But when I have to take in the transformation, in the transformation, the quantities are the x1 transformation quantities higher comparing to the transformation of x2. Transformation of x2. You can simply remember the monotonic increasing means what are the comparison operation you can consider. The same comparison operator is lying when applying the transformation technique. Coming to the decreasing is a monotonic decreasing method. In this method, when I have to consider the relation can be opposite. The relation can be opposite when I have to take in the decreasing method. Here I am taking this relation is x1 less than x2. x1 less than x2. This relation is here and here both are same. But the difference is the comparison between this transformation technique can be changing. You can comparing here, the first equation is the as it is, but in second equation it is less, it is a greater. It is a greater. When the random variables is having this type of relation, we can simply call that it is a monotonically decreasing function. Monotonically decreasing function. First of all, you can see that the derivation part of monotonically increasing method. So monotonically increasing transformation technique. For this technique, here I am consider the random variable x. The random variable x is having the density function is not equal to 0. It's not equal to 0, and y0 is any particular value of y. Here I am taking the equivalent graph of this one. The graph is containing x is a random variable. This random variable I can able to changing to y domain. changing to y domain. What is the y? Y is our desired value. X is the input for the system. X is input for the system. Y is the system output. The relation we are writing is the x is equal to x is a input and y is a output. The relation between transformation is the transformation of x is equal to y. X is equal to y. The relation we also are writing here is y is equal to t of x. But monotonical increasing, that means I have to representing x is a input in a horizontal direction and y is a output in a vertical direction. For these quantities, I have to plotting on a coordinate system on horizontal x and vertical y. I'm just taken one graphical model. It is a increasing order. It is a increasing order. Just I'm taking one curve. In this curve, I am representing one quantity here x naught and here y naught. X naught quantity is relating to input, y naught quantity is relating to output. For you can obtaining the monotonical increasing function, here you can consider the assumptions is y naught and x naught. These two are any particular values of the respective random variables. Here y naught is relating to y value and x naught is relating to x value. Just we can writing here what is the relation we are having a transformation, the same equation writing here. But the changing is we can take in the one more variable is y naught and x naught. These are the elements in the random variables. Here I am writing y naught is equal to transformation of x naught. Transformation of x naught. From this relation you can able to finding the x naught. Just you can moving this t to left hand side. Here already the t is multiplying. When I have to taking this side, it is a t inverse. This I am writing here. The x naught is equal to t inverse y naught. Just I am writing a simple equation. This is a fundamental definition of transformation. The same equation I am writing here, but I am consider the elements of in this random variables. Those are y naught is equal to x naught. From this relation, I am able to take in that x naught I am able to writing is a t inverse of y naught. T inverse of y naught. Based on the monotonical transformation technique, the probability quantities of the event relating to y and the event relating to x both are equal. Both are equal. I am repeating once again. According to the monotonically transformation technique, the probability function of event y and event x both are equal. Both are equal. Here y naught x naught is representing events or elements. Events or elements. That's why I'm writing in terms of sets. Y is less than or equal to y naught and capital X is less than or equal to x naught. These two quantities, I am taking the probabilities. According to the monotonic transformation, this quantity is equal to this quantity when applying the probability. The same concept I am writing here. Here I am just writing here. After writing this one, you can write is the probability of y less than or equal to y naught is equal to probability of x less than or equal to x naught. For these quantities, we can writing the distribution function is fy. Already we know that this is a fundamental definition of distribution function. Based on that one, we can writing the notation of fy of y naught is equal to capital Fx of x naught. Up to now I am not doing any different. Just I have to writing that the equal quantities and equal notations. Then you can able to representing in terms of density functions. In terms of density functions, always the distribution is integration of its density function. Integration of its density function. Based on the theory, here I am writing the distribution function notation in terms of its density. Already it is having that so y naught is a element. For this y naught value, you can able to representing the limits. Is a minus infinite to y naught is a fy of y naught into dy. Into dy is equal to the quantity of integral minus infinite to x naught fx of already x naught element you are representing here into dx. Up to now just you are replacing that equal quantities. Then coming to the next step. In this next one, we can differentiate on both sides with respect to y naught. With respect to y naught, why you can do this entire procedure, you can able to obtaining the conversion relation between the density functions. That's why I'm doing this procedure. For this step, I have to differentiating with respect to y naught on both sides. Based on this point, I had to just add is a d by dy naught of a integral minus infinity to y naught is of fi of y naught into dy is equal to d by dy naught integral minus infinity to x naught is fx of x naught into dx. And here these two terms is representing the derivation with respect to y naught. Now we can simplifying these terms. Here the differentiation and integration both are cancelled. Here also the differentiation and integration both are cancelled. But here what it can do that here both are same parameters can easily cancel. We can replacing equal quantity. But here the term is in terms of x, but you can make in the differentiation with respect to y naught. Both are different. Both are different. That's why you can write in this function. You can changing this function in terms of y naught. Otherwise, you can don't have another approach. Why? Because you can make in the differentiation with y naught. That's why you can applying the differentiation with respect to y naught. You can write in this entire function in terms of y naught. Already we are having the density function. The density function we are writing is fx of t inverse y naught. T inverse y naught, and the remaining function. What is the remaining function? Already we have to making that differentiation with this density function, and you can once again you can apply the differentiation what are the variable is available in this function. That's why I'm applying the differentiation on x naught. The x naught I'm writing here is a t inverse y naught. Why I'm writing this term? I'm once again I'm applying the differentiation on x naught. X naught we are writing the t inverse y naught. T inverse y naught. That's why I'm writing the differentiation term here. From this equation is all the complete equation is lying on x naught and y naught. X naught and y naught. Those quantities I'm replacing with x and y for our convenient. That's why I'm writing this one more step is x naught is equal to x and y naught is equal to y in our equation 2. For this condition, I have just replacing that where y naught is there, just you can keep the y, x naught is there, you can keep the x quantity. And after keeping these quantities in this equation, you can writing f y of y is equal to fx of x into the t inverse of y into d by dy into t inverse of y. Finally, you can writing is this entire quantity equivalent is x and this entire quantity equivalent is x. Simply you can say that the density function of y is equal to the density function of x into derivation of x. Derivation of x with respect to y is it is representing the monotonically increasing transformation technique. When after giving the random variable in a density function, just you can using this relation you can able to finding its transformation value. Okay, students, coming to the next topic. The next topic is monotonically decreasing function. Monotonically decreasing function. In this case, we can choosing the relation is the quite opposite for this input and output. Here you can consider the input is a random variable x and output is a random variable y. In case of monotonically increasing function, here consider the probability of capital Y less than or equal to y naught is equal to probability of capital X less than or equal to x naught. You can take in that as both quantities are less quantities, is a less or equal quantities. For in this case, we can take in that as a quite opposite opposite. For this quite opposite conditions is one is less than or equal and one more is greater than or equal. Greater than or equal. For this case, we can able to choose the relation. Here we can take in the less than or equal. Here you can take in the greater than relation. For this relation, we can choose that the quite opposite event. Why? Because we can only writing that the distribution function when the function is less than or equal to their quantity. For monotonically decreasing function, you can choosing that value is y less than or equal to y naught probability is equal to the probability of capital X greater than x naught. Capital X greater than x naught. For this relation, we can able to writing it is a, what is the possibilities. You can able to deriving the equation for this monotonically decreasing function. For that, here I am simplifying this condition value. Here the probability of capital X greater than x naught, I am writing its opposite event is 1 minus the probability of capital X less than or equal to x naught. In this case also can treating the y naught and x naught both are the elements of random variable y and random variable x. Based on that condition, you can able to writing this relation. From this relation, we can writing its equivalent representations. This equivalent representation is Fy of y naught is equal to 1 minus Fx of x naught. Then we can representing these distribution functions their corresponding density functions. For that, we can writing minus infinite to y naught. Integral minus infinite to y naught is Fy of y naught into dy is equal to 1 minus integral minus infinite to x naught Fx of x naught into dx. In these quantities, you can applying the differentiation with respect to y naught on both sides. That's why I'm writing the next step is just I'm adding the differentiation with respect to y naught. The same terms I'm representing in bottom. After that, you can able to applying the differentiation on this first term. That one is the d by dy naught and integral limits is a minus infinite to y naught, both are cancelled. We can write in the density function is Fy of y naught is equal to, you can apply the differentiation on a constant, the value is a 0. The value is 0. Then you can applying the differentiation on this integration. In this integration, it is high and the limits are is a minus infinite to x naught. Minus infinite to x naught, and the function is also lying on x naught. That's why I can writing the function in y terms. That's why here I am changing the x notation with y. That's why I can able to apply the differentiation on this function. This function can be changing to y. That's why I am writing the fx of t inverse y naught. Just I am changing that x naught quantity in y naught. The t inverse y naught I am replaced here, and then I am also applying the differentiation on x naught. The x naught I am representing here the t inverse y naught. What is the procedure you can follow for the monotonically increasing? The same procedure you can apply here. Only the changing condition is this one. The first condition it can be changing. The remaining procedure is as is what you can do in monotonically increasing function. The same procedure you can repeating in monotonically decreasing function. Now you can see the function is lying in x naught and y naught. That the representation we can represent in a graphical orientation is x and y. The monotonically decreasing, the decreasing function here I am writing like this is a monotonically decreasing. For this curve I am taking one point. The point is having the x naught in x direction and y naught in y direction. This point I am replacing. The actual point is x and y. X and y. I am substituting these quantities in this equation. Then the equation can be changing to the Fy of y is equal to minus Fx of, already the term is in terms of y. Here also can writing the y quantity is a t inverse of y. T inverse of y. Now we can replacing their equivalent quantities. Here I am entire quantity I'm replacing with x. I'm replacing with x, and here this quantity I'm replacing with x. The totally I'm writing is fy of y is equal to minus fx of x into dx by dy. But in case of monotonically increasing function, we are obtaining this formula is fy of y is equal to fx of x into dx divided by dy. Dx divided by dy. I'm writing here, in case of monotonical increasing, fy of y is equal to fx of x into dx divided by dy. Dx divided by dy. From these relations, this one is a 2, this one is a 1. This one is we are obtaining already in monotonically increasing function. From these two relations, we can able to writing the function in general form. The general form of monotonically transformation technique, we are writing the function is fy of y is equal to fx of x into modulus of dx divided by dy. This is representing the complete representation of monotonically transformation. So monotonically means it is only conversion of one-to-one random variable. One-to-one random variable. The remaining thing we are discussing in next class.